All right, so let's see how to do this. Let's see if I remember how to do this. Oh, let me just share the link. Let's see if that works. Make sure I know how this works, y'all. Make sure I know how this works, y'all. All right. Let's wait until some people kind of get in the chat before I start talking away. All right. Let's share the chat. Everybody does the vote. All right, we're gonna have some conversation. Just waiting until some people get here. Let me share the link. Just waiting for some people to get in the building. In the meantime, I'll be eating away. Let's share the link out. Let's see here. How do I do this again? If you're here, you can always say hello. Just what I'm doing is just sharing the link. Okay. We're gonna have some discussions. So in the meantime, I'll fill my belly. I'm waiting on Jeffrey. Meantime, I'm sharing the links. If you're here, of course, just say hello. We'll get into our discussion shortly. I'm eating some fried chicken. And garlic bread. We're gonna have a discussion. I'm just waiting on Jeffrey. Let's see where he is. I think Jeffrey is getting his makeup on. That's Jeffrey. Got to make sure he looks good. So I'm waiting on Jeffrey. And Jeffrey's in the building. Look at that. How are you doing, Jeffrey? Jeffrey's in the building. Samantha is in the building. How are you doing? So Jeffrey, here is the link. I think you can actually click on the link and it work. If not, let me know and I'll send it to you, of course. And anyone else who want to come up and have conversation with us can. Don't be shy. We can have up to 8 people on the screen, actually. Yep, hot topic tonight, hot topic. You want everybody to be a part of it, okay? Don't be shy, guys. In the meantime, I'm eating away. Oh, let me let Jeffrey in. Yeah, Jeffrey White. Oh, okay, all right. That looks better. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm all right, man. What's up? What's for
You're
dinner?
so light, man. Why are you
Huh?
so dark? You're not a
Oh,
black guy.
no, I'm actually charging my phone at another side of the house here. So let me
Mm,
see.
that's better.
Yeah. What's for dinner, man?
I'm having some fried chicken and garlic bread.
Thanks to Uber Eats and all these guys, eh?
I know, huh? I'm telling you.
Yeah. Trying to get my phone to yeah,
Disconnect.
yeah. Because I'm charging it by the side. For some reason, I was my
Oh, okay.
phone my phone was kind of
Mhm.
So what's the topic for tonight, man?
I'm gonna get to that. I'm just finishing eating. You know,
Okay.
get my last piece of chicken in first.
All right.
In the meantime, you fix all your technical
Yeah,
difficulties.
yeah. Let me just work on those things.
Yep.
I'll be back short.
All right.
That is going to be.
No, I'm coming back on my feet.
Hey, thank you for asking. I've been great, man. Long time not see. How have you been? So, Samantha, please share the link so some of your colleagues and friends can join this discussion. I'm finishing my dinner. Mhm. Hey, how are you doing, man? All right, let's see now. I think I finished my dinner. Hey, Shawnette is in the building. Yeah, how are you doing, Shawnette? Yes, Shawnette, I have not gone anywhere. Happy New Year to you, girl. I am right here. I haven't gone anywhere.
Hey, Shanna, join us tonight on screen.
Yes, it'd be nice to have Miss Williams with us tonight. Join us. Let's have a discussion. I haven't seen Shawnette in since last year.
Yeah, we need a neutral position.
All right. Are you all ready now, Mr. Ledger?
Yes, I'm ready to go.
All right, man. Um, it'd be nice to have. I'm waiting for some other people to come on, but we're gonna have a discussion either way. Both of us are here, so we can have a discussion.
Yes, so we did you send out let me see what's the link.
Yeah, let me send out some. Send it out to some of
Yeah.
my crew.
The YouTube link, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
let's send it out. Cosmic is in the building. What's going on, Cosmic? Cosmic Moon is in the building. If you want to join us, guys, don't be afraid. You can join. We're gonna have a discussion. Cosmic is in the building. Jeff is in the building. Jonathan is in the building. Samantha. So let's start this discussion. We are like, 14 minutes in. Oh, Princess Bloom, you changed your. Oh yeah, you told me that you changed. All right. Good to have you, girls. Good to have you in the building. We're gonna have a discussion. The topic for tonight is, and before I go into the topic, we have Jeffrey up on screen with me. Jeffrey, thank you for joining me tonight. And if you have any, just let us know where we can follow you, manager, and all the stuff that you're doing. So let the people know, and yeah, we can go from there.
Yes, my pleasure to be here on the Prince Network. It's always a pleasure to be on your channel. For those of you who don't know me, Jeffrey Ledger. I'm the director for Grace Music Project. It's a charity project where we collaborate with musicians and singers, artists, and we we kind of try to help people who are in need, people who are in dire strait, especially around this time. People might lose their jobs, they might have medical issues, and we kind of want to help in what way we can. So we kind of, Prince is also a part of us, so we try to help where we can. So it's a Grace Music project. So those of you who are interested, you can probably take a look at gracemusicproject.com, where we'll be doing compilation CDs and t-shirts and stuff like that. And you can support us, so we can support others. And as they say, every penny counts. I mean, we mightn't be much, but whatever little you can give, that could go a long way in supporting people near and far, not just in Canada, but like Caribbean, like we could always contribute to whatever need there is. So that's just a little about what I'm engaged in, what I've directed, along with the help of other musicians like Prince and others. So I'm happy to be a part of the network. And I know it's COVID time, so there's a lot to talk about, and we can discuss matters, things that people are struggling with, and other stuff like that in future topics. So tonight, I know we're going to talk about, I think we're going to talk about, we want to put yourself in certain positions and see what you will kind of do differently. Right?
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Ledger. And yes, and as you say, the topic for tonight is, if you were a leader, prime minister or president, what would you do differently in regards to for COVID? All right. What would you do differently? So that's what we're gonna be talking about. We have a few people in the chat. We have Samantha, we have Princess Blue. She changed her name. I would say I can sing, but that wouldn't be true, even though I sing a lot in my streams. Oh, all right. I wonder if you can make me sing better. Oh, wow. Jeffrey can help you in that area for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Once I can add music to her voice, and that makes it more melodious, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So Jeffrey, the topic tonight. Listen, anything we're talking about, you guys can always butt in. If you want to come up on screen, that's an option. Of course, I know some people are very bold. If you want to come up on screen and talk with us, you can do that. Or you can do it. You can do it through video. You can also do it through audio. So you can be up on screen, you block off the video, but we're still hearing your voice. That's an option. Or you can also utilize the chat. All right. So anytime you want to butt in, listen, be our guest, you are welcome. All right. So Jeffrey, the topic again for tonight is, if you were a leader, prime minister, if you're in Canada and places that are kind of associated with Queen. And if you're a president, places like America, they have presidents. So if you're prime minister or president, what would you do differently for COVID? The question.
Well, let me start. First of all, that's a very conditional and ambitious statement. If I were, I know it's I shouldn't say it's impossible, but it's improbable. But the question is, how many of us really want to imagine ourselves as being a prime minister or a leader in times like this, in such a time like this? It's as I say, it's easy. It's easy to say something. It's easy to say you're gonna do something, but when you're actually in the person's shoes,
yeah,
it's a whole different ball game. But I just want to start the discussion by saying, yes, I like the topic. It's a very interesting topic, because there's a saying that people run them out, like the government should do this and the government should do that, and I don't like what the government is doing. For example, we can start with this basic example. Government, the pandemic we thought was over, but then we heard about the Omicron, this new virus that is hitting the atmosphere, and then there was talk about whether the government should lock down school, so close up school, which they eventually did.
That's here in Canada, right?
Yes, in Canada. With respect to Canada. And then now there's a question. There's a question now. Could you guys just going to be please? That is, yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. So there's talk now whether the government should open school on the 17th, which I heard what is going to happen.
Yeah.
And then on both sides of the coins, there are arguments for and against. Like people are saying, why is the government going to open school now and COVID is still rising?
Mm-hmm.
And then the other side of the coin now, there are some people saying, oh, if kids stay home too long, they're going to suffer with mental health issues. And I've seen somebody write a letter trying to push guilt. Oh, my son is saying he's stressed by being home, send him back to school. So the first thing, being in a leadership position is, to me, it's a worst time to be in that position. You're gonna get it left, right, and center.
Oh, yeah.
You do this, you do that, people are gonna talk. So the question is, if I were a leader, first of all, I will listen to the people, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I will listen to the people. I will also listen to my heart. I will listen to divine inspiration. That's, remember the question you asked, if I were, right? So
Yes, yes, you personally, yes.
my perspective, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I were the prime minister, I would call a special day of prayer. Right? I'm just telling you what I will do. People will do differently. But in terms of opening school, I will not open school.
Mm-hmm.
I will still leave the online remote stuff until we see some these numbers are subsiding and things are regular. Maybe a few more months.
Mm-hmm.
I would also continue to give benefits and relief to small businesses and other businesses that are suffering.
Okay.
So I will still continue with those measures. And I'm talking with respect to these times, what's happening now.
Yeah.
And lastly, I would not listen to the opposition. The opposition will oppose whether it's a good idea or bad.
Yeah.
So I would do what's best for the people, what's good for the majority,
Mm-hmm.
And work towards listening to the medical doctors, listening to the scientists,
Yeah.
and listening to the people, but not necessarily the opposition. I'm not sure if I'm going to get censored by saying that.
Mm-hmm.
But opposition could be anywhere in the world. It doesn't have to be opposition in Canada. Okay. So that's my stuff.
All right. You said a lot there. Just before I get my take, Cosmic Moon said to answer the title of the stream, I would follow the rules and make sure my country would follow the rules to make sure they are safe, to keep the numbers of this down. Okay. And Mr. Maxwell says science is definitely important in deciding how to approach how we engage as a society. Noted that there are two good comments there for sure. I want to touch a few things that Jeffrey that you say. You said one thing, you don't listen to the opposition. Is the one thing, politics is very tricky. The reason why they call opposition, because I think opposition, they oppose everything. It doesn't matter how good your opinion is. Their job is to oppose it, and they do a very good job at that. So I understand when you say you would not listen to the opposition. Really understood that, because if you understand politics is a very tricky game, So I totally understand that. You said I agree with you. I think a day of prayer is very important. It's imperative. And maybe our prime minister should be listening to this. Because I didn't hear. Listen, a nation without God is, a nation without God can be a very bad thing. You know what I'm saying? And So I think a day of prayer, that would be a very vital thing to implement for sure. So I totally agree with you there with a day of prayer. These if I was president, well, I probably would not want to be a leader at this time. I don't know if I want to be a leader at this time. And this is like, I think Jeffrey, you make a good politician. One of the things that stand out to me that you said you will listen to the people. I find politicians don't listen to the people. The only time they listen to the people is before they get into power.
That's true. That's true.
After that, man, I mean, their ears are blocked. You know what I'm saying? So listening to the people, listening to doctors, I think is very important. Um, obviously, their opinion counts in such a time like this. Also, let's see what Samantha say here. How I am also ensuring that I don't politicize a crisis just for the benefit of a political party. That's very powerful. By Samantha there, ensuring that she don't politicize a crisis just for the benefit of a political party. Let me just get what Cosmic says here also. I will also listen to what the country would have to say, not to not do what Boris Johnson did and not go to the party with 40 people.
Practice, yeah, practice what you preach.
Yeah, you gotta practice. Yeah, I think that's another thing. Do you think one of the reasons why the pandemic is what, almost 2.5 years now? How long has the pandemic been going?
Yeah, I know it's more than 2 years now for sure.
So I think people see one of the things that we so accustomed to, especially in our part of the world, is freedom.
Yeah.
I mean, to tell people that they can't do the things they've been doing all their lives. I'm not saying it's a right or a wrong way. I'm just saying to ask people not to do things they've been doing all their life is at some point they're gonna get frustrated. They're gonna get exhausted of the situation. It's crazy, but it's crazy times that we're going through. So I would, of course, advise to adhere to the do's and the don'ts. Of course, at such a time like this, for sure. Let me see what I got here from Samantha. Ensure that I don't politicize the situation. The goal is the health of the nation. Yes, totally agree with you, Samantha.
Yeah. So
But in
there's I often wonder, especially now being a leader, if I were a leader, there is what everybody knows what's called the conspiracy theories. And there are people who would criticize if I were the prime minister now, I know I would hear people saying like, oh, all the governments of the world, they want the one world currency, they're selling us out. I want to control the people. So COVID is not real, and all the governments are coming together and holding one head and trying to control the people. And I know that's a very challenging thing to hear, and it's something that the majority, a lot of people, I don't have numbers, but a lot of people have accused many leaders and governments of wanting to control the people. For example, having lockdowns and well, the vaccination is a whole different story. I personally do not believe in mandatory vaccination. I believe it should be based on your choice, individual choices. But to say that I any government want to control the people and COVID is not real and it's a conspiracy theory, I would dispel those. And a government, I wouldn't say lock up these people, but I would say find ways to educate. Don't just give him the numbers and say, all right, this is the case. I would find other ways to convince and to educate people to tell them that this thing is real. and to try to change. You can't change people, but you could change their point of view. You can change what they're thinking by through education, right? So that's one of the things I would do also in dealing with conspiracy theories.
Mhm. Do you think, Jeffrey, that as a society, whether nationwide or globally, that we are lacking um, more information in regards to educating our people in regards to what's actually going on this pandemic?
I don't think so. There's information everywhere.
Hmm.
There's information now with the global web and the internet now. There's information. Anybody. There's nobody that is done something back home. I mean, back home now. There's nobody that's done with COVID. Everybody knows what COVID. Everybody knows those consequences. Everybody knows all the risk, because information is out there,
Hmm.
right? So I wouldn't say that there's lack of education or anything like that. It's just people generally do not like change, and people generally don't like to it appear as if they are controlled. As you said, enough freedom.
Yeah.
Once you play with somebody's freedom, you're gonna have resistance and this kind of stuff.
Resistance for sure. Hmm. Yeah, I agree with you. I think there's a lot of information out there, and if you want information and you seek it out, you will get it. So I agree with you there. It's crazy times, man. This is I think more than likely, you go through a pandemic probably once in a lifetime.
Oh, you're gonna break your arm off.
You know, it's one more thing I would say as a leader. I know I have a lot to say, but
Oh,
if I
that's all
were a
right.
lead, if I were a leader, I would educate the media also. I think the media is responsible for a lot of um
Information that goes out.
information that could be misconstrued, and information that could be misleading. For
Hmm.
example, this is a perfect example. The conspiracy theorists are being fed because now with this Omicron virus, it appears from what I'm reading that the majority of cases are people who are vaccinated. Like I seen a
I
story.
heard that a lot.
Right. So if there are what I've seen, if there are 10,000 people, if there are 1,000 people that got the virus, they say 800 is vaccinated,
Hmm.
and they say 200 are not vaccinated.
Hmm.
So you know what that tells you? The media puts it that way. So okay, on an absolute basis, 800 is so much more than 200,
Yeah.
right? But look at it this way: what the median is. While I agree that the majority of vaccinated people are getting it,
Hmm.
look at it from another way. Of the total population, 90% of people are vaccinated,
Hmm.
right? And 10% of persons are unvaccinated. So where would the majority fall if you get COVID?
Obviously, right?
Right. So 90%. So you'll definitely have more people
Hmm.
who are vaccinated catching it because the higher proportion, only 10% of people in the country not vaccinated.
Yeah.
So look at it on a relative basis, on a percentage basis, and not on a absolute basis. Like don't compare 800 to 200.
Yeah. Yeah.
Compare what percentage of the vaccinated population got it, and what percentage of the unvaccinated percentage got it.
And another way to also look at that would be of those that are vaccinated versus those that are not vaccinated, how much longer it take for them to recover.
Exactly.
So that's
Exactly.
another way, very important way to look at it.
Exactly. Because what I've seen, and I
Mhm.
don't have evidence, but what I've seen is that it takes 2 to 3 days for the vaccinated to recover with little hospitalization,
Mhm.
and then the unvaccinated they get severely sick. But mind you, it seems as if the vaccinated can catch it easier.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
That one is the opposite, right? Like that's the disadvantage. It seems as if people can catch it easier because I don't know if it's some protein or something, but it appears that way. I said I'm speaking opinion. I'm not speaking factual stuff, right? It
Hmm.
appears that way,
It appears.
and
Okay.
this information feeds the conspiracy theorists, right? You see, look at so many people who vaccinated and they're still getting it. My position from beginning is always You have a choice. People should have a choice whether to take vaccine or not. I don't believe in mandatory vaccination. You
Yeah.
have a choice. And I also believe that whatever it takes to reduce any severity of a sickness, I'm for it.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I hear that. Let me just read what Miss Daly is in the building. So, Miss Daly, thank you for joining us. Miss Daly says, as a leader, I would advocate for hard facts
Yep.
and building, support building the immune system naturally. But that wouldn't fly as that's bad for big pharmaceutical companies. Woo! That's a big one right there. That's a big one. So Miss Daly is saying as a leader, she would advocate for hard facts and support building the immune system naturally. So you can fight off the virus on a natural basis instead of maybe vaccine, pills, medication. Uh, but she's saying that would not fly as that's bad for the big pharmaceutical companies. To
I
that, you say
agree.
what, Jeffrey?
I agree. I agree to some extent, but not totally. For
Mhm.
example, let me tell you, I'm somebody who supports natural medicine. For
Uh-huh.
example, I could tell you like ginger, onion, not onion, sorry,
Garlic,
ginger,
garlic.
garlic, lemon.
Mhm.
Those are very effective remedy, and they work to a point where naturally they are very good natural cures. Because
Mhm.
I personally use them, and I can testify they are good. But the issue is now we are dealing with a pandemic. We are dealing with multiple issues where not everybody has the same degree of immunity,
Mhm.
health wise. Not everybody is healthy. Not everybody is strong. So a lot of people have compromised systems. A lot of people, different circumstances.
Mhm.
We're dealing with economic sources, conditions. We're dealing with, of course, we're dealing with the pharmaceutical companies. But
Mhm.
I believe the pharmaceutical companies gonna make money all the time. They sell aspirins, they sell Tylenols that we take every day. I mean, they make a little more profit from vaccine and so on, but they're always making money. They always will make money from antibiotics. They don't really. You think they really need this additional stuff to make extra money, and that should be their motivation?
Mhm.
They already making thousands of medication that we take,
Mhm.
even if ginger and other stuff are still out there.
Mhm.
So it's a good point that I would advocate natural stuff also,
Mhm.
as but it should be like an addition, as
Mhm.
support measures, but not as a overall measure.
All right, awesome. I'm sure Miss Daly is listening, and she would have a response for sure. Well, if I was the prime minister, whew, if I was a leader in such a time as this, oh boy. Like I said, I mean, listening to the doctors would be a thing for me for sure. Uh, I support that calling a day of prayer because I think in during a pandemic, you should have at least more than one day of prayer. You know,
Yes, yes, yes.
not just one day, because I mean, you have a pandemic that's been going on for 2.5 years. You know, what I mean, and I'm surprised that the government has not moved to having at least a day of prayer, at least a day of prayer. I'm kind of surprised, but that's something I would have definitely go for sure. I don't know. The mandatory stuff. I don't like to be. I don't. I always think that should have been optional. I don't like mandatory vaccine. I think you should always let people make it. Just like how the pharmaceutical companies, they're making stuff and they're telling you they're not 100% responsible. If something happens, they're not 100% responsible. They will not take that upon them. So just like how they don't even want to take the side effects, the responsibility on a side effects level. They don't
Yeah.
want to take that. I think also me deciding to take a vaccine or take pills or whatever should also be optional. So That's one thing as a leader, I would make that optional instead of making it mandatory. But then again, that's just me. Okay, so it's just a hypo. This is just hypothetical. So,
What about, let me ask you a question. Would you as a leader, um, would you communicate or get advice from your fellow leaders, like other leaders around the world, to see how they handle it? Or would you copy their measures? How would you approach something like that?
I think I would. Well, I mean, as a leader, I think it's my job to look at other countries and see what measures they're using and if it's working.
Yep.
If it's working, and I would want to implement it in my country. If it's working for you, I mean, in a crisis like this, I mean, you gotta take. I mean, it'd be wise for me to, I mean, implement such, because if it's working over there, hey, and we don't have the best thing working over there for us. I mean, why not try that? So I think I would actually implement other strategies for sure from other countries if it's working.
Okay. Great.
Let's see what Miss Daly have to see here. Miss Daly said there is no money in a healthy civil salary. Oh, I think I know where she's going. This tying to her first, to Miss Daly's first
Yep.
comment where she said that wouldn't fly, as that's bad for the big pharmaceutical companies. I hear you, Miss Daly. I hear you. But when that would be sad though, Jeffrey, don't you think? If companies are really utilizing things like these, what I mean, if you know if there's a cure for something, why not expose it instead of keeping it?
Let You see, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a pharmacist. I'm a financial analyst. But
Mhm.
from my perspective, I don't want to believe that. I don't like the theories where people always think somebody's out to get you. Some the government trying to control you. The pharmacist trying to, these are to generalize. They are not evidence, because there's no. I don't think there's any cure for cancer. For example, there's not any cure for cancer. And
Mhm.
there are a lot of other diseases. For example, there are a lot of other diseases, like whether they're sexually transmitted disease and other stuff, where they're only treatments for, they're not cure. So
Mhm.
sometimes pharmacy products are really, some of them produces relief or treatments,
Mhm.
and most of them are effective. So sometimes I have a difficult time just believing that the pharmacists are going out there looking for viruses or some new thing to get money out of people, and if you're healthy and so on. I don't believe that's their objective. Of course, every company's objective is to make money, is to be profitable.
Yeah.
But to say that they can find a cure, but they just want to sell the treatment so that people will always be buying. I have no evidence, and I am not one who would propagate
Mhm.
such an opinion, right? Because I don't think negative. I believe there's always positive, a lot of positive things from science, from doctors, from pharmacies, the same pharmacies that I go and buy my Tylenols, antibiotics, or whatever, cold medicine whenever I'm sick.
Mhm.
I have that level of trust, and of course, and faith and wisdom in science and pharmaceutical products. And of course, I'm not dismissing natural remedies. Natural remedies could only go to a certain extent
Mhm.
based on your conditions.
Mhm. Someone said to me the other day, Jeffrey, that why how come they are investing so much money right now into this virus, and yet they're not investing so much money into stuff like cancer. So my question was to them was, how you sure? How could you just make a statement like that? right? Because obviously, like you were saying just now, I mean, there's no cure for cancer. There's also no cure for COVID, but there are treatments on both sides. There are treatments for cancer. There are treatments for COVID, but and there's nothing to take them away for good.
Exactly. No, but you should have responded. Cancer is cancer is bad. It's not a good thing. It's I'm trying to see if epidemic is the right word. But this is a pandemic. Any disease that causes a pandemic will have doctors, nurses, scientists running like running their heads off to
Uh-huh.
find a remedy because the whole population could be wiped out. We don't want that. Leaders don't want that. Ministers don't want that. You don't want that.
Yeah.
So in a pandemic environment, people and companies will invest thousands of dollars, millions of dollars to find a cure or a treatment, and that should be applauded. That shouldn't be seen as, oh, they're trying to make money out of people.
Yeah.
Because if so, doing nothing is not an option. If the pharmaceuticals has did not do anything,
Hmm.
and the prime ministers didn't do anything, and they use, we don't know what would happen. Only God knows what will happen. So if you want to take that choice, if you become a prime minister and you want to let the course plays and let everybody have natural immunity and let everybody get sick and do nothing, that's there's no evidence that that will work either. And then the government will be accused of not doing anything. They just let people die. They didn't even do anything.
Yeah.
So you see, again, you can't please people.
You can. Okay, let's hear what Miss Daly say. Hey, Sugar Love, thank you for joining us, sweetheart. Miss Daly says, but I agree that in combination with the sound medical advice, with natural remedies, I would to support the masses. But yeah, no liability, mandatory vax is wild. But it's no policy for my job. Ooh.
Yeah, that's bad. That's bad. I support her there.
Mhm.
That have people having to vaccinate for jobs. I don't support that, and I disagree with that. Um, so if I were prime minister, I definitely would not mandate me. So you know what, guys? Next 5 years, please vote for me.
Jeffrey is gonna be running in the next 5 years.
I wouldn't mandate and make that a policy for any job. Sorry.
Mhm.
If I become prime minister.
Ooh. Hey, now you guys know Jeffrey will be running in the next 5 years. So I mean, your vote is mandatory. Now this one is mandatory. Congratulations, Princess Bloom. Yeah, but this is I mean, it's interesting times, man, and I think these are conversations that I'm sure is happening in different parts of the world on a regular basis with friends and colleagues and families and stuff like that. Why not bring the conversation live on YouTube? You know, uh, Cosmic Boom say he sent his vote. She sent her vote overseas. All right, you have Cosmic's vote right away, Jeffrey.
Yep.
Vote from overseas. And the honest truth, though, in a time like this, I would not want to be a leader.
Yes, that's it.
Tell you the truth. Could you imagine you're taking over to be a prime minister and that your first thing that slaps you or welcome you to the office is a pandemic? It's crazy.
Yep.
It's like the States. Remember 911? You're incoming president. Hey, bam, 911. Man, it's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's a bad time. It's a bad time.
It's a bad time, and I obviously would not want. And I mean, we have to pray for our leaders, man, because I mean, to make decisions in time like this, man, I mean,
It's a lot of pressure from all ends because
yeah.
there's a lot of pressure because, and you're right. I mean, I said that I will run for the next 5 years, but believe me, nobody wants to be in that hot seat because you have to do so much consultations, which is okay. But then whenever you make that decision, like opening the school now on January 17th, I'm sure the whosoever premiers or whatever they're gonna get licks from both ends. Why did you open school? Why are you gonna open school when he's 17? The
Mhm.
pandemic isn't finished yet. And then if he doesn't open it, some young kid will be saying how he's home depressed and stressed and he needs to go back out to school and of course I understand there are a lot of parents who don't have anybody to look after their kids and they want their kids to go to school. And I
Yeah.
do support those measures. But and that's where it gets tough. That's where it gets tough because what should you do?
Yeah, you got to go to work.
Yes, definitely.
Those are, I mean, that is pretty hard, man. You got to go to work. Kids are home. Depending on the job you have, you may not be even making a lot of money, but now you have to probably pay for a babysitter. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, thank God for if you have an option of working from home, and even that can be challenging because you're working from home. So to even monitor children at that time, it's very challenging. Gloria Miller is in the building. So welcome aboard, Gloria. Gloria says the vaccine used foreign animal proteins and emulsion known as polysorbate 80. It's not medicine. It's a depopulation. Woo, woo.
Is that Dr. Gloria Miller?
You need to read this, Jeffrey.
No, I was asking, is that Dr. Gloria Miller?
Maybe it is, Doctor. Are you Doctor Gloria Miller? That's a very good question.
I'm not seen the DR before, but I mean, I don't know. I never, I don't even know what is what polysorbate 80. Excuse my ignorance, please. I cannot comment there. As I said before, disclaimer: I'm not a medical doctor. I'm just speaking from a natural and spiritual point of view.
Hmm.
Oh, Dr. J.W. Hodge stated in the book.
Okay. Stated in his book, The Vaccination Superstition, that millions of vaccinated people have died of the consequent smallpox while having the plainest vaccine scars on their bodies. Let's see
Good stuff.
what this is.
Good stuff.
On their official website, the Zeneca. I hope I'm pronouncing some of these words right. I've not even seen some of these ever. Vaxivaria vaccine uses to chimpanzee. I can't even call some of these words. You're challenging my spelling and
Yeah. I mean, whether or not these are true,
mm,
and my position has been from the beginning, I am very ignorant to science,
mm-hmm,
but I do have a lot of faith in the Almighty, the Most High, right? So just like how I would take a Tylenol, whatever, if and when you're young, they give you vaccine for a lot of stuff. I have no choice. I took it. Taking a vaccine to me, as I said, is a optional, is a personal choice.
mm-hmm,
My decision to take vaccine was based on my personal choice. It was based on my faith. It was based on my trust in the Almighty. Because whatever medication I take, whether it's headache, I say a prayer. I believe God is able to make you better, or not make you better, whatever the case is. When you take any medication or when you take any food. So with that trust and with that kind of confidence in science, I made a personal decision. So
mm-hmm,
I'm not saying that what she's saying is not true or what this doctor wrote is not true, what it comprises or what it doesn't comprise. It could be true, it could be not, it could not be true. But from that point of view, that's how I made my decision. I'm not gonna waste time finding out if somebody gives me poison to eat or to drink. Two things could happen. I either live or I either die. I could pray about it, I could trust God. If God wants me to live after drinking poison, I will live. And there's no matter what any man does or what they put in that drink. If you have to live, you will live. And if the poison will kill you, it will kill you.
mm-hmm,
So I live my life with that kind of confidence and not with fear and not with questions.
mm-hmm,
And that's how, as far as my faith goes. With any medicine, not just vaccination. So
mm-hmm. Hmm. I hear you. Well, let's hear what Gloria have to say. Doctor approved. At the time of its recall, Vox has been taken by 4 million Americans. The arthritis drug may have caused 140,000 heart attacks, resulting in 60,000 deaths. FDA investigator Graham. Okay, so I think Gloria is stating some stuff that
We need to read that book. She need to send us the title of that book. Let's read that book.
yeah, Gloria, you should send the book over. It's what's the name of that book?
I'll send a link or something. We don't mind being educated. We are, as I said, we are just discussing. We need to learn to, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, and what we're saying here is not there's not gospel, you know. What I mean, it's just our opinion, you know. What I mean,
Yep.
everybody's yeah.
Disclaimer: yes, the views expressed by us are just our opinions, not
Oh,
factual.
that's right. And we just having conversations, man. There is no right or wrong. We're just having conversation. The same way you're listening to us, we are here reading your comments and taking it into consideration. Also, it's just conversation.
Yep.
Okay, so that's the disclaimer for sure. In November 2007, Merck announced that it would be pay 4.85 billion to resolve claims that is anti-inflammatory medication cause heart attacks, vax cause heart attacks, including sudden cardiac deaths and stroke. Yeah, you should
Good,
really send
good
us
stuff.
over that, the books that you are reading. I mean, nothing is wrong, like Jeffrey said, to be educating yourself and reading books and stuff like that. Nothing is wrong with doing that. You know what I'm saying?
You sounds like a medical student. Good stuff. I mean, you're teaching us stuff here. That's good.
I know.
Good facts.
It's amazing what you can gather here between even like America and us just across the border. Because I mean, the information is totally. Yeah, I mean, they have a lot of information there that some kind of experience that we don't even have here. There is a right and wrong. You can't run a diesel engine on orange juice. I love Gloria, man. I
Which is
love
Gloria?
Gloria, man. Gloria, you should come up on screen and have this conversation with us, man.
Yeah,
If
we
you
welcome
want
the debate.
I want to see Gloria face. Come up on screen.
One
Click the
second,
link
one
and come up on screen if you can. Let's have this discussion together. Cosmic say my fiance didn't take the vaccine until they said it was safe. All right. I hear you, Cosmic. Yes, Gloria, you have an option, please. If you want to come up on screen, please, and you can talk to us. Just click the link and I will let you in for sure. Samantha is still here. What Samantha has to say? Vaccination is definitely an individual decision, and therefore, if it be the case after being informed of the effect, it causes problem as they have said before taken. It's the person's responsibility.
Hey.
My face will always be hitting. Gloria has entered the chat very hard, Miss Daly. I'm telling you. I know, man. She's touched down for sure.
Yes.
I think she should come up on screen and have a conversation with us too. And Miss Daly, you too. Why are you afraid to show your face? Show your beautiful face. And Samantha, and who else is there? Well, we're not gonna see Princess Bloom never shows her face, so
Yeah, I wish, I mean, with the whole pandemic, there's so many issues, like they have so many different thoughts, so many different opinions.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying I know all the facts. I'm still pretty ignorant to the whole, but we have to try to cooperate and unite during a pandemic, share information, and stay safe, and just follow protocols.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only how I believe. That's a main responsibility of being a leader around this time, to ensure that people are informed, to make sure that people follow protocols,
Mm-hmm.
and people are educated. and have all the resources and information that's necessary.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's important that you have somebody to at the helm to really ensure that, like you said, these things protocol and stuff is being followed for their own safety too. Because there's a lot of people that if you don't, if it was not mandatory to wear a mask and stuff like that, they would have been just walking around. They would
Yeah,
have been walking around, not wearing masks and couldn't care, behind what's going on. So for sure,
exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. Because Prince, do you know the before you read that, do you know the purpose of the police force? The purpose of a prime minister is to maintain order. Imagine
Intimating
there was
order,
no
yeah.
police force. Imagine there was no prime minister. Everybody will be doing their own thing. Some people probably will be creating their own medic treatment for COVID from banana juice or something and selling it and said this can cure. There will be so much panic. Right? That's
Yeah,
why
yeah,
we have to appreciate the
that's
leaders' effort. Right?
true.
Yeah.
Let's hear what Miss Daly have to say here. But here the madness. I work from home. We will not return to the office, and it's still policy. That thing is kind of tricky because if you're not returning to the office, why the workplace is making it mandatory? If you're working from home. They're saying you're not returning to the work. Why they make it mandatory? I can understand if they say, well, eventually when we come back to the office, it's mandatory for you to come into the office. You would have to get vaccine. But if you're working from home, why?
Most of these companies are following the lead of others. They're not necessarily thinking about the personal choices and decisions of employees. They're looking at other companies and trying to do the same thing without much consideration.
Mhm.
So as I said, these things should be personal decisions. They shouldn't be I'm not a mandate fan. So I do understand why people would be concerned. Yeah.
Let's see. What did I miss here? Miss Daly said, "Trust me, I haven't worked in the office in almost 3 years. Started to work from home pilot before we started to work from home pilot before COVID. Oh wow! And now it's mandatory. So it's mandatory for you to have the vaccine, even if you're." Let's hear Cosmic Moon.
Yes, I agree. That's the same point I was making. No government to be so much chaos.
Mhm.
No police force. People do what they want.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So we have to be
No,
thankful.
no government. Having no government is like having no traffic lights.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. That's a good analogy, Prince. Very
Yes,
good.
it will be chaos. Yeah, so I agree with Cosmic here. That's how we know at this point it's not about health. Well, I would not say it's not about health. I'm like Jeffrey, I'm very careful to say certain things, you know.
Yes, you can politicize this thing.
Yeah. Who is here? Colin Williams is in the building. Hey, welcome, Colin. Colin is saying,
Policy.
policy apply whether you're home or in the office. You hear that, Miss Daly? The policy apply whether you're working from home or in the office. So I guess, I mean, that's a good point too. I guess if you have a policy, you cannot just say the policy is applicable when you're in the office. But if you're doing the same work from home, it's not applicable because it's a policy. You agree with that, Jeff?
Well, policy, I guess, you mean when you're working from home or when you're working for the office?
When you're working for the company, it doesn't matter. The policy doesn't change because you're working from home. That's what I'm calling is trying to say. If it's
Okay.
policy, it doesn't change because you're working from home. You're still working for the same company, whether you're working from home or you're in the office. It's still a
If you do,
policy.
if you do decide to go in the office, then you have to be vaccinated. That's what it means. But you can work on the fact that you're still employed. It means that you can probably work at home if you haven't decided to take the vaccination, and there are some conditions where you have to take the rapid antigen test if you go into the office. So I think there's in some cases the policy is a little, it has some where you can adjust it a little. You don't have to take it. I'm not sure how some companies do it, but I know some companies, they allow you the freedom not to take it, but you have to do rapid tests every day or every other day before you come into the office.
But in Miss Daly's case, she's saying that she has been working from home for 3 years now. Even they started that pilot before COVID. She have not gone into the office. She's been working from home, and the company changed the policy still and say you have to be vaccinated as long as you're working for us. Whether you're working from home or in the office, you have to be vaccinated.
Oh, that's what you're saying?
There's no wiggle room.
Well, different companies, different policies.
Yeah.
Well, you never know. Sometimes COVID could go through the telephone. Like when you're talking to somebody, you could probably catch it that way, not you? That's a joke, okay? Disclaimer.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay.
Oh man. Let's see what Samantha says. That's how we okay, let's see what I missed here. That's a good point, Colin. Still, there are policies that has conditions based on job description. That's what we're trying to say. I mean, it seems like this daily there's no wiggle room for that.
But let me ask a question then. What if the prime minister or the leader resigns during a pandemic? Would you call him weak? Or would you think that's a good decision for a prime minister to resign in this time? Maybe
What's the reason for his resignation? Because it's too much stress.
Too much stress. I can't get the numbers down.
I mean, well, I would call the wheel. I think you don't need a leader like that to lead you at all, because the lead is basically saying in the time of stress, I'm gonna walk away and leave you hanging. That's like, could you imagine being on a ship, Jeffrey, and the waves and everything is hitting the boat, and and the captain was like, "Yo, I can't take this." Open a speedboat and like, I'm out.
Exactly. So I applaud. Believe me, I applaud every leader. I applaud every leader dealing with this crisis. Believe me, I applaud, because the fact that none of them, I haven't heard any of them jump off the ship and take a lifeboat and say, can't deal with this. They're there, whether for what reason, whether to look good, but they're there looking out for the people.
For the people.
And I sincerely believe that they're trying their best to look at the people's interests. General population, whether you are one party or the other. I applaud every single government in this world, and I applaud the efforts. And I've always been, I have to be fair. I can't say they're trying to control me and they're controlling my mind, because in some cases they shouldn't be doing something like mandatory vaccines and so on, but that's my view. Okay.
Yeah. All right, let's hear what Miss Daly has to say. Having to upload my vaccine status as one that works from home doesn't make sense, since it was established that we would not be returning to the office. It should be a choice, not a policy. I agree with you, for sure. I agree with that. Let's hear Samantha's laughing away, but hey, it is what it is at this point. True. Cosmic say, I would celebrate if he steps down right now. He's so much. Cosmic lives in England, actually. So
Oh, he lives in England.
Yeah, she lives in England. She.
Oh, okay.
Miss Maxwell saying no one is indispensable.
No.
Someone will always be there to take place. That's true. Miss Daly says, well, I won't comment on certain name companies, as those are clients of the company I work for.
Yeah, good. Yeah, try not to We don't want anybody to call names or clients or whatever.
No, no,
But
no, no.
these are personal choices that individuals have to make.
That's right. Colin say you are being controlled. Canada is not free.
Right.
It's free.
Come on.
Yeah, you Colin. Hey, aren't you that Uber driver?
Princess, that's you they're talking to. What? Why aren't you that Uber driver? What's that question about?
Without name or place. I don't know. Who are you?
Have you seen me driving Uber, buddy?
It's probably Jeffrey. You drive Uber?
Boy, I probably contemplated it, but not around this time. With this Omicron, no. With this virus, I wouldn't give that a consideration now.
Oh man.
Maybe he saw somebody look like me. Did
I
you see
know.
somebody did you see this handsome guy driving Uber, man?
This doesn't sound like
Oh man. Good to see you, mate. I used to live on a farm in Mono.
listen to it.
Oh, he's probably talking about me.
Oh, so Prince, you used to be an Uber driver. He set me out.
Woo! Hey, look at that, man. Small world.
Yeah.
That's probably when I used to live in Orangeville.
Okay.
Like, I used to live in Orangeville a while back, you know. Hey, man. Good to see you too, mate. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, so don't forget, guys.
I guess I can't hide, man. I can't hide. You know, when I was driving Uber a lot, they used to tell me that I look like Kevin Hart.
Oh.
I get that all the time. I still get it up to this day. One time I was driving up the street and someone pulled up next to me, just grab my attention. I had to put my glass down just to tell me, hey, anyone ever tell you you look like Kevin Hart? Just to tell me that.
That's good.
Oh man. Prince, will you be my Uber driver if you come to England? Sure, I'll be your driver.
You can play All Star.
Just buy me a nice car and I'll drive you around.
How is it? How is it in England? Like how is the pandemic situation there? Is it as bad as is it worse than Canada now?
Yeah, Princess Bloom, yeah, let us know how is the pandemic situation in England, please. You know.
Colin wants to hear joke Kevin Hart.
I know, man. This is the wrong Kevin Hart, man. I'm from St. Vincent, man. We tell jokes by default. Everything for us is funny. We don't even have to try. We just like everything is just funny.
Something playing the piano. Something playing the piano. Watch down. Something playing the piano. Watch down.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So no joke, Colin. No joke at all. That was funny. Yeah.
Did Colin answer our question? If he were the prime minister, what would he have done differently?
Yeah, let's Colin. Yes, please answer the Colin. So the question was for you: is if you were the prime minister? I'm guessing you're in Canada, so we'll use prime minister. What would you do differently? In regards to the pandemic. We will wait and Colin to respond. I don't think I look like Kevin Hart, but I wouldn't mind having his bank account. I want to look like his bank account. It's amazing how I heard that so often. There is no way I look like Kevin Hart. Let's see. Oh wow, yeah, 100% on Kevin Hart look-alike.
Wow.
100%. Wow. If I were the PM, I would definitely not make a booster shot mandatory, especially when the world leader of virology said it's completely unnecessary.
Daddy, 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, Justin.
Yeah, so the booster is not would not be mandatory. Yeah, we hear that. Let's
Yeah,
see.
that's a good point. I'm halfway, in acceptance of that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we were already not for the vaccine mandatory so much as to the booster. What is are you also saying that the booster is not mandatory, but you're saying the other vaccines should be mandatory, but not the booster? So let's hear back from without a name or place. Cosmic is answering the question. Well,
In
yeah,
England.
how is it in England? It's terrible. Boris Johnson, and I'm thinking that's the prime minister, can't make up his mind by putting people in hospital cause of this. Cause of this, he's recently went to a garden party with 40 people with his own alcohol. Everyone waiting for the next vote. Get him out!
Probably that's his way of dealing with stress.
Right. In other words, it's turning into a disaster. I hear you. Carissa James is in the building. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us, Miss James. And if you were the prime minister, what would you do differently, Carissa?
Where did the bean go? Okay. Daddy, are you done?
Almost.
Are you done from eating?
Get him out. So I think without a name is saying what I'm getting is like from his statement is that he's probably for mandatory of the first two shots, but not the booster.
Yeah, yeah. I kind of like to some extent because I wish that it didn't have to come to the point of a third shot and a fourth shot and a fifth shot.
Hmm.
Because we were told that the second shot was, but you don't know how the story is gonna end. It's just so much uncertainty now, and all these different replications or what you call them. So
Hmm.
it's kind of hard to say.
Yeah,
Even if the third shot is gonna be effective too, and as the virologist said, it's I don't know. Leave that to the experts.
oh yeah.
But you know what? What was scary? I was reading some stories on the internet today, and
Hmm.
some people got sick immediately after taking the third. I mean, they got COVID immediately after taking the third shot. And I read like a few examples today where that happened, and I asked myself, I know it wouldn't kick in yet, but how come? Is it coincidence that they got COVID just at that time, or did that third shot trigger that? You don't know, you know. So these are questions sometimes you wonder. Um, yeah, I've read some stories today, and like they just got their third shots, and at
Hmm.
the same time they got COVID. So you wonder about these things sometimes. How is that possible?
Oh boy. I think I missed a comment where Colin said if he was the president, he would send the army to everyone's house and jab them.
That's interesting.
Ah, oh man.
You're taking away people's freedom, man.
that I want to say he would send an army to everyone's house and jab them.
I would
Oh,
deliver Bibles to everybody's house and tell them watch and pray.
oh man. That is too funny, man. I missed that Colin comment, you know. Let me see what else I miss. Colin said there is a judgment that's being released in our land. Explain. We have no freedom now. We thought the plague was bad all them years ago, but I'm sure we can all get through this by staying safe. I mean, in Jeffrey, in my lifetime, man, I've gone through a couple of stuff, man. We got through the 911, not 911, 9/11. That was yeah. Now we have a pandemic. What else did I miss?
Yeah, I like, I'm kind of I like Cosmic Moon's comment. Well, most of you who don't know me, I'm a man of faith. I'm a Christian, right?
Mhm.
And recently I was telling myself, I really thought this pandemic was over and it was getting better until I hear this new variant and so on, which is so aggressive. And I'm reminded about what happened in the days of Pharaoh
Mhm.
with all these plagues that was happening to the Egyptians. And after one went, another one came. And then I kind of check myself and say, what is really happening to our people? Are we not heeding that this may be something that is happening like in those days? Because as soon as things ease up, we want to get back to do our own ways. We want to still go back and have parties and secular behavior. We still want to assume the same kind of lifestyles we were living before. We want to get back loose
Mhm.
and so on. And I tell myself, if something else happens and we still not learning, just like the Egyptians. Um, so if we don't check ourselves as nations and people and put our lives in order and eliminate fear and get closer to the Almighty,
Mhm.
these things are gonna plague us and these things gonna always bother us. So I just saw her comment and I realized the word plague, this is not something new. It happened before when people were disobedient and people were living these kind of lascivious lives and disrespect for God. And it's time that people get back because God is able and He is sorry for preaching and He's patient and we can trust and rely on Him to
Mhm.
to get through all this, right?
So, but Jeff, remember at the beginning when we started, where you were saying that if you were the prime minister, I mean, if you were the leader, you would have called a day of prayer. The reason why I brought that back up, do you think when we have a leader or headship or leadership that's does not they're not God conscious,
Yep.
right? Do you think that trickle down back down to normal people where okay, if the leadership is not even acknowledging God, we can go back to our norms. In the flip side of that, if we have a leader who is acknowledging God and acknowledging prayer, then you will have a nation that more adhere to more what the leader is saying. Like now we have it's like having a like I said, having a headship without God, right? So they're not studying God. So I mean, so the people itself not studying God either.
Well, that's true. But you know what I would like to say? Of course, it has a lot to do with the leadership. Like if the leader doesn't have a faith and the leader doesn't have any belief in God and he depends on his own intuitions or whatever. That's I'm not saying that he shouldn't. He should be a Christian. Or he should be a preacher. He should have faith because you can't. It's a free society. People can decide whether they believe in God or not. But
Mm,
I'm looking at it from a perspective as everybody, whether you're a leader or not, everybody was born in sin and everybody is a sinner and everybody because of what happened, from the biblical point of view with the Garden of Eden, everybody has a sinful nature. So
mm,
collectively, we as people are human beings. If we don't check our ways and try to have some respect for God and live our lives within certain boundaries according to the scriptures, we will everlastingly be living in fear and among plagues and we will have all these challenges. So it's the person who overcomes, whether you die from this or you live from this, the person who overcomes, that person will reap whatever eternal benefit there is. But I'm saying people should repent. People should love one another. People should take follow protocols as are rendered unto Caesar, as the Bible says, and try to live with that type of lifestyle, good God fearing lifestyles, whether it be a leader, our countryman, our person of the land, and these are what will make us safer, whether physically or figuratively.
Okay, all right. Let's hear what they're saying in the chat. Without a name or place, I am not against vaccine, but they shouldn't be the top priority or strategy. And I definitely don't think they should be universally mandatory. And a friend of mine in his 30s just got how you pronounce that? Myocarditis?
Yeah, some heart problem, I think. Yeah.
Sorry to hear that, buddy. Sorry to hear that. My prayers are out to your friend. Kiwani James say in Montreal we have to take the booster shot to consider as a fully vaccinated. The first and second one is not considered as fully vaccinated anymore.
Yeah.
I think I'm hearing that too. That's a little bit here too, right?
Yep. Yeah. The definition has changed. The definition of fully vaccination has changed, and that's not surprising.
Yeah, that's crazy. Samantha, sorry to hear about your friend. Yesterday, our prayers goes out for you. Miss Daly said we have deadlines to upload our vaccinated status.
I feel for you, Miss Daly.
A question for Miss Daly, if she's still there. Are you required at your workplace to take the booster shot? Is that mandatory, or just the first and second shot is good enough? Okay, so I'll wait for Miss Daly to answer that. Cosmic says the way I keep COVID away is running the streets. Oh, sure. Wow. Colin said we are being given a chance to repent, just like the days of the flood. True.
Yes.
True. Amen to that.
Yes, I agree.
Kiwani James say when I took the first one, I was very sick for 1 week. I never got so sick in my life. Yeah, I heard a lot of people has some that type of. I mean, vaccine has always been like that though. Even the flu shot. I mean, you take the flu shot and some people get sick. A matter of fact, when I first get the flu was when I take the flu shot.
Every medication gives you side effects. Some people would get it, some people wouldn't. Some people wouldn't get it.
Yeah. Samantha say the new variant proves it's getting better. I heard someone say the new variant. I think they were saying that our immune system is reacting better to the new variant versus when COVID just got on the scene.
You mean in terms of recovery? In terms of recovery period?
Yeah.
The length of time.
Yeah. Well, I think your immune system will kind of grow accustomed to, and that's how the immune system works, right?
What if people get kicked out?
Miss Daly said, in my opinion, it's streamlined messaging. The clients produce the vaccine, so it is only makes sense for all levels of staff to be vaccinated. I get the logic, even if I disagree. Oh, that's very mature of you, Miss Daly. Without the chase, and if I was the PM, I would not have given the WHO universal access to every Canadian social media account, Facebook, Google, etc., to be manned by all bots and spot COVID misinformation to silence the people. Ooh, I didn't even know that was happening. Oh yeah, I do know that's happening. Miss Maxwell says, in a diverse nation, Whether you believe in God or not, we should consider the best interest of everyone holistically. I agree with you, Miss Daly. Let's see here. I'm out, buddy. Keep healthy, blessed. Yes, thank you for joining us, bro. It was a pleasure, man. It was a slice. Thank you for hanging out with us, man. We at TPN totally appreciate you. And Jeffrey, myself and Jeffrey totally appreciate you over here for being a part of the conversation. It's just a conversation. Yeah. That's cool, man. Let's see. What else did I miss? That's it. I think I got everything. Yes.
What's that?
Uh,
VR.
I don't know. What's that? There was something I wanted. Somebody said something I wanted to touch base on. Yeah, I think so. Without the name or place was saying that it would not given the WHO universal access to every Canadian social media. How accurate is that? Do you think they have access to our social media and they can silence any COVID misinformation? What do you think, Jeffrey?
Well, I think that's evident. I think that's I've been hearing stories. I mean, I don't give COVID misinformation, so I don't really know, but I think the evidence that some people say that they would like delete the chats or hide the chats if you produce it. Yeah, I believe that's what's happening. I'm not sure if the government give it to them,
Hmm.
but I know they can control what is being said and reported on the social media for sure.
But that goes back to what you were saying at the beginning that you will try to control what goes out in social media and goes out in the news and stuff like that. Remember you were saying that?
Yep.
You know what I mean? So because if you just let any information, I think that's the age that we are living into, where any and everything hits social media, and whether it's good information, bad information, and then it just left for the public to digest whatever, right? So
Yeah.
it can be a good thing and a bad thing. Yeah, you never know. Let's see. Cosmic say, but seriously, run around naked. The germs will take one look at you and run the opposite. Cosmic is too funny, man. Mm-mm.
Oh.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it seems to be it's scary because I'm hearing that this Omicron is so easily catchable, you know? It's
Mm.
like if somebody's in one room and you could be the other room, I hear you could even catch it that way. It's like you don't even want to go outside now because what's really going on here? Yeah, it's really creating a lot of chaos, eh?
Yeah, man, it's crazy. Like crazy times, man. Like, listen.
I
Uh,
I remember I was telling somebody the other day, right? If I was make and I made this exact statement, I said it's just a matter of time before everybody catch COVID because if as long as COVID is here to stay, it's
mhm.
just a matter of time before everybody catch it. Vaccine or vaccine not. Especially now the rate at which it's going, that's what I believe. You is like you can't run, you can't hide. So that's just my opinion. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. Whatever it is and whoever made it or whatever it is, it's like I don't know if it's as somebody was saying earlier. I don't know if it's a plague or I don't know if it's punishment or whatever as a wake up call. But
Hmm.
that's what I think.
Well, uh, I think based on the symptoms, I think people is gonna, like you said, people are gonna get COVID and don't even, because not everybody going to be tested, right?
Yep.
And I think some of the symptoms is some of the stuff that we are,
When your meeting gonna finish?
5 minutes.
The 10 minutes is only
some
off.
of the some of the symptoms
Minutes is
is
only
some of the things that we are accustomed to. Like we're going to change the weather from summer to winter. We are accustomed to get sick. We are accustomed to have the cough, the sore throat. You know what I mean? Because some of the symptoms is like flu-like symptoms that we're accustomed to.
Well, maybe it's flu. Maybe it's like a sheep in fox in a fox clothing. Our fox. Maybe it's a fox in sheep clothing. That's what I should say. So maybe it's the
I
flu.
know,
We
I
don't know.
know. Mhm.
There's no more flu, so maybe that's the actual flu. But I don't know. I can't say is the pharmaceutical company. I can't say these things. But maybe it's a fox dressed up like a sheep.
Mhm.
So we don't know. We just have to try to take whatever measures necessary, sir. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, it's crazy, man. I mean, hey, who knows, man? But you're right. I think, I mean, if I mean, it's just a matter of time, I guess, you know.
What you want, Pop? Down basement?
And it's not everything, because some of the, based on some of the symptoms and stuff like that, they even will tell you, you know, you can stay home and don't go anywhere and just be treated at home.
And the stove? Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
So there's based on if your symptoms is very, if it's just you know, very mild symptoms and stuff you have, they're telling you to just stay home and use your home remedy. You know what I mean? Because you can't populate the hospital with about every time
Yeah.
you know what I mean, you get a cough. Could you imagine going to the hospital because you have a cough or a sore throat?
Exactly. I know. I think the hospital visit is reserved for people who have breathing issues or respiratory issues. As soon and you don't want to play those stuff. As soon as
Yeah,
you're having trouble breathing, coughing is okay. But anything with fever
yeah.
and breathing issues, that's when you should go to the hospital, right? That's when you're encouraged to. Yeah.
Well, breathing issues for sure, but I'm like, if you have a light fever, those are stuff that happens all the time. You cannot. Your grandma will take care of those with the home remedies, man.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that it works. I mean, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, do you hear anybody say that they have the flu these days?
That's what I'm saying. No. You're free, even if you have it, you're free to say that you have the flu. Because was it you the one who said like I remember Jokey posted some time ago, if somebody sneezes now, nobody said bless you anymore.
Yeah, no one said bless you. It's
Everybody
amazing. It's
come.
amazing. You sneeze, and everybody's looking at you weird, man.
Yeah.
Before, when you sneeze, everybody was like, "Yeah, bless you, bless you." Now you sneeze, everybody's looking at you like, you know what I mean, like you have COVID.
So there's no more flu, man. There's no more flu.
Oh man, it's crazy.
Your kids have to go up here in COVID and wearing mask.
Right.
Yeah, that's a reality, man.
Let's see what my friend who got myocarditis was from the vaccine was banned from Facebook. He runs a non-profit organization and spoke out against vaccine, and it was permanently banned.
I'm not surprised.
Oh, oh wow. Well, sorry to hear that about your friend. Yeah, I mean they're trying to control what's on social media for sure. Kiwan, Miss James say yes, it's here to stay like HIV. Miss Daly say I don't get the logic. The virus is mutating and causing variants. Yet the solution, hey, add more spikes protein. The math ain't mathing. Miss Daly is too funny. Sneeze as everyone holds up a cross and spray at you. Too funny.
It's like a curse. It's like
Oh
a
yeah,
curse.
man. Like your curse, y'all.
What I wonder, I have a question though. I wonder, like, people who actually caught COVID. Well, I wonder what has been the experience of some of these people like after, like, do people kind of stay away from them or whatever? What has been some of what do you think might be some of these experiences? Like,
Well,
do you
first
find
of
they
all,
resent it?
I mean, you don't even know if someone had COVID before. It's not like they're walking around with a tag on their forehead.
That is such a Prince. That is exactly true. Yeah.
I went to play somewhere. Oh, I went to a rehearsal, and one of the musicians was telling me when COVID just came out, he had COVID.
Yep.
And I was in my mind, I was like, oh. Yeah, he said that too confidently, man. But what are you gonna do? I mean, he would not wish that on anyone. He said he had a very bad experience. I was talking to one of my other colleagues, and they were saying when COVID first came out, there's a few people at their church that got it, and they have not fully recovered.
Yeah, long-term side.
It really affected them, especially when it just came on the scene, you know. So
You don't know. You're right. You don't know who has it. Somebody could be sitting next to you and they have it, and you don't know the symptoms. You know.
Mhm.
Yeah. So there you have it, man. We'll talk about. We'll try and keep this going another time and another program.
Oh
Just
yeah,
to have-
man, for sure. Thanks everyone for joining, man. It's always a pleasure.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Everyone who stick around with us, the Miss Daly, Cosmic, Miss James, Samantha, who else?
Without a name.
Without a names,
Colin Williams.
Something Love also. There's a few people that was here, you know. We have a lot of comments, and everybody took part, and that's what we wanted. Next time, we just hope some more people will come up on screen with us. You know, don't be shy.
And I think Colin was also there. We appreciate
Colin was there too, yeah. Without a name or place. That's my friend from all the way in Mono. I don't know if he still lives there, but you know, when I was an Uber driver. Without a name or place. Are you still living without a name or place? Are you still living in Mono? That's close to you, Jeffrey, no?
Mono, no, man. Well, not close. Maybe a half an hour.
A half hour? That's close.
Being naked in the cool directly stimulates the immune system. This man says, PM, I'll make one in naked out those man. Prince, he wants to encourage us to go running outside too.
I know, man. Like, geez.
That's so funny. That's a joke of the night.
I know. Oh man, that is crazy. That is too funny, man. Too funny. But listen, man, we want to thank you again. I mean, you guys don't forget to go and check out Jeffrey. Jeffrey Project, Grace. What's the name of the project there, Jeffrey?
It's gracemusicproject.com. You can go to gracemusicproject.com and check out what we do. And you know, because as I said, we are an organization that try to help people. We're trying to raise funds to help people who are in needs, people who might have medical or any other needs, and they can't afford. We try to help in whatever little where we can. So work with other musicians and artists to try to help people. You know, so we have a heart for the helpless.
And it's not just here in Canada. I mean, the proceeds goes to people anywhere around the world, the Caribbean, wherever the leader choose to distribute help. You know, I mean, it's a good thing, man. Like, you know, our job. Sometimes we are so fortunate on our end, and why not help others that's in need, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So for sure.
So thank you everyone for joining, and Prince and I will, Prince will let us know when there's another issue to talk about, and we'll be back soon.
Yeah, we'll try to come at you at least once a week, you know. Maybe if you're lucky, you might even get twice a week. Thank you guys for joining. We totally appreciate you. If you
Yeah.
want to go back and listen to this live, will be posted on YouTube. And again, have a wonderful night. Thank you for joining. We appreciate you here at the Prince Network. And Jeffrey is a financial analyst. What are you? What's your
Yes, financial analyst.
financial analyst? And he do a lot of other things. Jeffrey also musician, producer, music teacher. Jeffrey do a lot of things. If you're here in Canada, in Toronto area, and you wanna get to learn music from a vocal standpoint, from a theoretical standpoint, I mean, Jeffrey is there doing his thing also, and yours truly, teach drums, so you guys can always reach us. We basically work out of the same studio when coming to teaching. So,
Yep.
all right. So again, thank you guys for joining. Everybody have a wonderful night. It was a blast. We enjoy all the conversation and all the comments. We try our best to read. I try my best to kind of bring it up on screen and read everybody comments. If I've missed any of your comment, my humble apologies. It was not meant to be so. But you know how comments is, there's a lot of them, so you can miss a few things, okay? Wherever around the world you are, England, the States, Canada, we appreciate you and we love you over here. Have a wonderful night. See you again next time, okay?
All right. Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Prince. Yeah.
All right. Jeffrey, say good night to wifey for me there, all right?
Okay, no problem. Thanks. Yeah, we'll do.
All right. Have a great night.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye-bye.